Okay, so today in this tutorial we'll talk about how to draw convex thread. So first we'll start from simpler version. So often in drawing stuff in 3D, it's necessary to first make some drafts, like 2D projections from top or sides. And here for the stairs, I have this projection. So it will be like 6 threads. So, because making this kind of flat two-dimensional draft give me let me like understand how to draw, how to make construction in a space using section planes, like drawing on the sides, so I can project these points from here and draw them in any kind of perspective. So this proportions and structure of stairs looking from top. So also important here, it's notice often artists prefer to break everything to squares, because squares it's simplest proportion, you can rotate in perspective, so it's easier to find it in. So when you draw like this, so here this is my plan drawing here, then make more subdivisions. So I have now this 8 squares, then divide each square, and I have 6 steps. So now I extend. So you see, I do same like I did in the 2D version, same happen in the 3D version. Only difference is I should follow perspective grid. If you know from my previous tutorials, if you don't know, you go watch my previous tutorials. Perspective grid is this XYZ. So if like here, what we have this line and this line showing some conversion in perspective, right? So these lines, they stand for z-axis. These 2 lines, they're standing for x-axis. So we have slight conversion here, slight conversion here. And here will be in the middle. This is vertical lines, and in this situation vertical lines, they just vertical with 0 conversion. So it's like 2 vanishing point perspective. And the vertical lines is y-axis. So if I draw this situation here, it looks like this: y, z, and x. So it might be helpful to just draw some more lines for this grid, especially when it's convergence like here. I just draw some more so it will be visible for me. So I can later, when I will draw, I can snap to it, like you see like here, because I practice a lot, so I don't need, sometimes I don't need to draw perspective grid. I can already kind of have some approximate version of it in my imagination, like it's just in my eyes. Yeah, so Same like here we have 8 steps, right? So now I also make H for them. So now we have H, and now I will just project these 8 steps on the H. So how it works? It's like main way how I can start. Let's say start from this one, highest step, highest thread. So you see, like I snap in perspective grid, I follow in direction of axis, like this vertical is y axis, this it's a z axis, and this z axis here, and this is x axis. So when these lines intersect, I will have these points. Same here. See, it's intersect here, then I go z, intersect here, then I go here, and it's intersect here. So now I have this highest thread for stairs, and also why we need to draw often and draw many times and some different perspective situations. It's to deal with something like this. You see how my previous marks start to interfere, overlap with these lines. So if you beginner, if you don't have experience, you might be very much confused with that and lost. It's like, oh, so many lines, so many points, and I already lost. But more you draw, better you can see through your drawing, through these lines, and remember structure and see exactly what is what, and don't be lost and don't confuse these lines. So all I do is I keep looking for next line. So if I have point here, right, I continue, it's like a z x axis here, and this point I continue y axis, and I got this intersection point. Then from this intersection point is z-axis, just drop it, later I will find intersection. So here you see again it's like little overlaps, this diagonal line, it's pretty much very close to vertical line here. So they are like overlapping here, so it's confusing. So, but from this point and moving up, I have this intersection. Same like here, I drew vertical line here. And here you see, if like here this line intersects with this, here this vertical line from this point intersects with this line. But for me it's not confusing. I see it through, right? So it's from behind here, then z axis is here, and we got intersection point. So if we have this intersection point, and now we have this point, and now I just connect them. And I have this second from the top surface of the stair. So now, what H of this? Also, like if the situation like here, right, it's kind of confusing. Oh, so confused. Okay, you can just project it on a side then, so it will be more evident for you. Okay, so now I have this H for each step on this side. So, like here, have this, right? This point H. So project here, and I have this H here. And from here I extend, and I get intersection here. Also, up to me, I can just right now draw all these lines on this platform. So I get immediately this zigzag for each step. So it's many way how I can find these lines. I can do all this, draw every lines, but often it's became too busy, too much overwhelming. So usually it's often it's just practically no reasonable. So if like here, right, if I want to same here, it will be just so overfilled here. So instead I can just do like this without drawing line. So let's find next one. start already look so busy, so I'll take a darker line to give it finisher look. So like I always say, principles are very simple, but all is about application, because when we start to apply these principles on an actual situation, when we draw something in perspective, it just became so busy kind of, and so confusing. So it's just hard to follow what are you drawing, right? And we need to practice with this thing. So here. So here is interesting. If I have this here, cool. I can make this diagonal zigzag. Diagonal zigzag over here. And then here goes this way. So just make sure I follow convergence. So if you follow perspective grid, it will be a little like this. So double check sometimes. So this, you see, we have this complex kind of stairs with a stair going towards 3 directions, not only front, so it's also go left and right. So put some shading so it will be more clear. Now how to draw same kind of stair but with concave sides, convex sides. So here again, here is how it looks from the top. So we have first 4 square has 8 squares, also will be 6 step, and this time it will be convex sides. Also there will be columns, so I'll show you later. So first, let's do this thing first. So if convex stairs, right, so it look like this. And now how to find this convex for each step. Here these diagonal lines help us. So you see I extended here, so then when it's intersect here and draw it here. So now where it's intersect with this center line, here it will be like top. So this top here, where I draw this curve. Same here. So how it works, so we have this top points go in this direction, so and to look like this. So yeah, just again, it's kind of certain loss of accuracy because freehand, but principle is correct. So now I also put here columns. So let's see how it works. So we have this again. You see, I prefer to do it with the squares because it's easier to calculate in a projection. So we have this 3 subdivision, and I also make 3 subdivision here, and here in this square, this will be column here. So I will use these 4 points for circle. And we repeat same process. So same here will be like this from center. Point here, point here, point here, point here. Maybe let me do it first with a blue. So here, first and biggest one, it's this. Then smaller follow this, then this one going here, can So you see, without this simple 2D top projection, it will be impossible to figure out what is happening. Now I have this draft, and I have like dimensions and everything I need. So now let's again first making a simple isometry kind of situation. So first time it all feels very mundane, but after some repetitions it just feels fun, because you feel more confident, you're not stressed anymore about your lines. If they're not accurate, they're still under your control, and it's not possible to be 100% accurate. It's like I always say, it's also purpose of practice. It's to feel this balance. You will find, after many practice, you will find this balance in perfection and certain looseness. So you will kind of forgive yourself for minor, not essential mistakes. When you're in the beginning, when you lack of experience, you feel pain for every minor mistake. So, and you just getting overwhelmed by all this. And this kind of point, yeah, later more and more you start to feel like more relaxed and relief from all this burden of imperfection. Okay, so you see, again, here is example what I mentioned before, because if I will draw, like, if I start to like draft everything, like every lines, it will be like super overwhelmed. It will be impossible to see anything. So I find sequence. I find like more possible sequence for myself, which will give me opportunity to see what I'm doing and not be lost. So you see, like first I'm drawing the middle, which is I didn't do before, right? Here I start from this. I find my base for columns, and I find this zigzag for center, and now I will find these curved lines. So this way I can see my lines and I'm not completely lost, kind of. So sequence is important. It's like all of this is equally important elements. It's technique, it's about tools, rules, and pipeline. So if you don't know how, like what do first and what do next, you will not get to the result you need. So, and there is some general pipelines, and there is some like every task you do will have its individual kind of pipeline. So you like, my point, it means like every task you do is something, it might be something nobody did before, like it's your creative work, right? So is pipeline is not existent there. So you making the find right pipeline which give you opportunity to create this artwork, it's a part of creative process. Figure out sequence, like kind of strategy, like plan of attack, how you will get to result. It's important. So, and eventually, like you developing like your toolbox with your knowledge of perspective rules, anatomy, all these essentials. Same, you will get this toolbox with preferable pipelines. So, like how you use certain materials. Like if you use markers, okay, you will generate after some practice. You will generate your preferable approach for drawing stuff with markers. And like I say, this sequence of how you use markers in your work, this what will separate you from other artists. So that's why if you want to study some other artist technique, it's kind of same like to knowing what materials they use. It's also important to know what sequence they work, which sequence they apply the techniques. Okay, so now I have this stuff, and now I will start to make this threads in perspective, and I will confirm with my draft from before. So what we see here, we see this thread, highest thread, right? It just directly goes to center of column. So it's go like this. Then we see a second. You see, it's like if here it's straight. Let's say, okay, we'll slowly go. Here we have this point, and this point is going here behind, and here we have projection on the bottom, you see. So we need this piece move up here in perspective, and doing this we need to move this point along side of this column, right? So we have this tube, we have this point here on the side of this tube. So, and I move this point up here, and any of this I can use. And then I just follow this curvature. So I move this point, move here. And let me see, like from here, I will follow this curvature. And when it's intersect with this vertical line, like let's say here, it's intersect, and then I use this curvature. So now I find this projection. So you see, here we have this point, I draw curvature, and I will draw this with a darker color, so it will be already clear. And same amount I repeat it here. So now we have rest of the threads here. And then I need to find, so if this zigzag is straight in perspective, then this zigzag here will be on this tube, right? So how to do again? Same, we have these points which we need to project up. We have these points. So it's already intersect with this. Then from this point I draw this curvature, see? So it's like if I draw ellipse through, and I don't want to draw like every ellipse because again it will be too many lines, right? So I just, because I did this before, and you can see in my tutorials before, I'm talking about drawing tubular forms, so I can draw it without drawing through. I can just draw this kind of half ellipse on the front side. So we have this, then let's go here. I can show, so it's will be more clear here, right? So again here I have VC. It's important to see these full shapes, 3D shapes. You see what I'm talking about, right? So it's like these lines project here. Same here, we go this. Let's go like this. So also sometimes if like it's complicated curvature, right, we can also use some this kind of diagonal line, like in Scott Robertson book. It just help to project curves. So this one go here, this one go here, from this go here. So you see we have this zigzag on a tube. So also what is fun about this is if you're able to build this kind of situation in perspective, then later you can just draw it loosely without building it so seriously. You can just freehand it more loose, and you will do it much better by knowing all this underlying structure and knowing underlying principles. Because when you're not able to draw such stuff properly, you don't have this kind of proper eye to see when it's good or when it's wrong. So you see we have this beautiful 3D situation here. Let's do this first here. Same here. So you see what elements we have here. Same, we need to find this first. Project in here. Dun, 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 dun. So this shape is now here. So then we can drop line from here and we know H. Now we know H of this step, of this thread. Then here we drop this line, we connect with this. Now we know length, etc. Let's first make sure we find this place here, so we're not confused with all these lines in the front. So let's first find this. You see, follow this curvature, follow this here and drop here. Double check. So here is actually look more protrude. So, and again you see, this is what I say about complexity in actual situation, because you can have these minor details like when it's overlap, but we still need to see through to know where next curve line will go. So this also will help make this way, like we have this surface on the ground, right, this plane. I can find this plane on this H. Okay, now I transfer this plane to this H, and I can transfer this curve to this H, like this. So now I have curvature for this step. Okay, let me do first this blue. So again here we have this and I can make this here, maybe make a little longer, okay? Okay, so also add some shading here. So usually I draw it with simple pencil, and it's easier to erase all pencil lines and leave ink. But here, just for better vision, I use markers in this video. So it's just is better. You can see better. Так. Also, let's just make some correction. Yeah, and of course, if you draw like this in Procreate or in Photoshop, you can draw so many layers, so it's very easy and not so confusing, like when you doesn't have this like multiplier layers, only 2 layers like this. Or you can use like trace paper, put it over and use like all previous drafts, like Scott Robertson actually do too. He make a lot of these drafts and then put trace paper and make clear drawings. So also, say, we can see this situation. So you see we have these points, right? So if I continue this direction here, and also for these bottoms, like I was telling the very first tutorial about stairs, with this double line, right? So now I can draw like as long as I want. This is just like this kind of column ending of stairs or beginning. We can see in this like traditional buildings. So I was just curious about how to draw this kind of stairs, and want to share it with you, what I learned about it. So it can be any width. So let's keep it this width here. Also watch my tutorial about drawing stairs with a fence. All this is great practice to drawing in perspective. It's just train our brains so we're much more adapted for drawing complex structures in perspective in 3D. Same with the column. They can be extended to any height you want. It's just like most complex part is how this merge together, these stairs with this column. These higher parts here, they're more simple. Nothing difficult here happen. And let's draw now in a 5-point perspective grid. So it's curvilinear perspective. It's like when vertical lines are curved and horizontal lines curved, and we have this point kind of like this here. So only I will do it this way. So we put horizon line here, this Z axis going this way. Oh, my cat want attention. So then this vertical lines and this horizontal lines. So now I will put this first two big square, just this flat, and again it's all eyeballing, no any kind of measurement. I just try to make them as accurate as possible. So now if I divide it, here will be middle line, or I can also divide it by eyeballing, kind of. So you see, same principle. We just draw it. We can draw it in any perspective. You can draw it upside down, left to right, or right to left. Same structure, and you just adapt it for different situations. So let's try it this way. Oh, will be complicated here. So I find columns. So this is my H here. There's certain proportions failure, but it's okay. Again, will be example of how odd it might be, but still will work. So then we have this so column here. So exactly same structure, same principles. I may play with sequence, just see which way will be easier for me to draw, to make sure I can handle complexity. Don't forget about perspective grids. So annoying, get busy. Wait 10 minutes. Okay, so let me make this first. So this one go here, then have this like before with this curved triangle, but here's above horizon line. Ooh, interesting. So how it works, it means it will go here and then it go down like this. So column going up here and this going down here. This here, go into this. So you see we have this curve in perspective. So if I'm not sure how to draw this curve, I will draw this section. Move here. See? So now we have this ground plane on this high. And now, okay, like this curve going this way here. I recreate it here. And when is touch, where's this touch here? This column. So this touch column here. Going like this to here, a little behind already, but this in front. So we have this curve line go here, we have this in the front of tube. This point project here. Let's see. Let's go like this. This plane, you see this line here, is here. Now this point I drop to vanishing point, and here, right? So here, drop like this. So now I have this plane, now I have here, and now like inside this plane I have this curve. Same I do this curve here. Whoop. So, and we see it's touch here. So it's like very, very cool. Very, very cool. A very subtle movement here, because this tube is going here. So it's look like this, very close. So on this curve, and same just like I did with this plane, can do same with these planes here. Way. And now same do here. So first we have this curve. again. Careful. Don't forget, double check perspective grid. So here especially make this extreme grid for demonstration. So I need to make sure I follow it. Okay. Again, it's some shading. And also, of course, pencil here can erase this benefit of using pencils because they're erasable. tutorials can draw floor, adjustment. Yeah, so with these principles, with this structure and approach, this pipeline, you can draw it from any angle and any kind of perspective. So here, for example, let's draw it in some different situations. So hope it's useful. It must be. So write your comments. I'm really happy to read your feedback. Write your requests or just help my channel with your comment, because it's a help to like more promote this channel. YouTube will show it tutorials more often for other people. So see you next tutorials.
Unleashing creativity, let it off the line. Dynamite can't be contained or controlled. With every stroke of my pen, the story unfolds.